Welcome to Cory's Stories. Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Are you ready to meditate with Cory? Climb up into your bed and make sure that you get super comfortable. Check that everything is just right in your room. The lights are just right. You're wearing your comfortable pajamas. And you can relax your body and let go of your busy, busy day. Heidi had called Tucker. She needed a very special favor. Tucker, of course, had said, "Come on over, of course, any time. Come on over, my friend." Heidi, Cherry, and Vaya went over to Tucker and Leo's house. When they got there, it was first thing in the morning. Heidi put the printed email on the kitchen counter and let everybody read it. Poe had asked if they would all help with a very, very special request. Could they, along with him, be a part of a group that was going out to one of the special mountains that was close by where they all lived? They were a planting group, a gardening group, but this particular group was going to go out and plant trees and flower seeds all over the mountain, the hillside, because there'd been a fire there a few years ago. And even though some of the trees had grown back and there was new life on the hillside, a lot of it was still very barren. And this particular group is all for saving the planet. They go out once a month and just donate new trees and flower seeds wherever they go. Normally they go hiking and they plant them in different places, but that's their whole mission, to just plant and replenish and save the world by planting seeds and making sure that they give back to the Mama Earth so Mama Earth can grow the seeds and grow the trees, and the oxygen from the trees can feed us in return. Trees, after all, keep us alive. If we didn't have trees, we would be in very big trouble. And the flowers just look absolutely beautiful in summertime. All the different colours on the hillside. There's nothing better. So, of course, Heidi wanted to go. When everybody read the email from Poe, they were all in. Everybody agreed that it was a really good thing to do with their Saturday. All there was left to do was Tucker to go get his magical stone. This was a job for humans, not dogs and cats. Tucker ran outside. He dug underneath the Buddha statue that was on the back garden. He found his stone very easily and then ran into the house with his magical stone. He stood by the window so the sunshine could shine in through the window, and he held the stone up to the sun. Everybody gathered around him. The stone was covered in dirt, so Tucker rubbed it with one of his paws and then held it back up to the sun. It only took a couple of moments before the white, opaque stone started to get very, very bright. The sun was shining through the golden veins in the stone, and then it got brighter and brighter and brighter, and the excitement around the room was getting stronger and stronger. And then Tucker's angel appeared in the stone. She was gracefully moving her wings as if she was flying in the sky. She peered down at Tucker and said, "You get one wish. Just one wish." Tucker said, "Hello, my darling angel, my precious, beautiful angel. I know that you know that you know that I know that, well, we all know that. Cherry said, get on with it. She elbowed Tucker in the ribs. I'm doing it. So, yes, my magical angel, would it be possible, please, because we have a very, very, very important task to do today, and we would like to be human. Just like that. Just like that. They were all stood staring at each other in their human bodies. Cherry had pigtails. She had pigtails with yellow scrunchies in. She looked super cute. She had a yellow t-shirt on and some yellow shorts. Vaya was wearing all blue today. Blue with tiny little white love hearts on. She had a jumpsuit on that was super cute, and it rolled up at the bottom so it was like calf length. She had white sandals that went with the white love hearts on her jumpsuit, and she was wearing a white headband. Heidi had some green cargo pants on with a bright pink t-shirt. Leo was wearing jeans with a blue and white stripy t-shirt. Tucker was wearing cargo shorts with a dark green t-shirt. Everyone was ready for their hike. It didn't take them long to get to the bottom of the mountain, and when they got there, Poe was standing there with D'Angelo. OMG, said Cherry. How long them two been there together? I hope they've been okay. Heidi said, yeah, me too. You know they don't have a great track record. Well, as cats they don't, said Cherry. But maybe as boys they're all right. Poe and D'Angelo were actually laughing about something. No one had got any clue what they were laughing about, but they looked like they were getting along really well. Poe had a bunch of backpacks down on the ground around his legs. Hi guys, he said. Thanks so much for coming and helping. Vaya blushed when she saw D'Angelo. I didn't know you were going to be here. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't miss it, said D'Angelo. Poe let me know the other day about it. I'm definitely in with this. Who doesn't want to save the world with trees? Vaya went over and gave D'Angelo a really big hug. They'd not seen each other for a few weeks. Leo, at first, was a little bit disappointed that Sasha wasn't there, but Leo got over it really quick. He loved hiking, and he really liked the idea of them all doing this to save the trees, to save the world. Just planting trees in general was a really good, awesome thing to do. It made him feel good inside. So he was on a mission. He said to Poe, what's in the backpacks? Poe said, good question. We all have 3 pine trees that we can plant somewhere along the hillside, wherever you want, and there is hundreds and hundreds of flower seeds, so you can sprinkle them wherever you want. It's up to you guys. Cherry had got a backpack. She smiled at Tucker as if they had something going on between them, something that they'd not told anybody else, and Tucker had a cheeky grin, knowing that they had something going on between them. At the same time, D'Angelo looked at Vaya as if he'd got something secret going on as well. Vaya looked confused, but he said, I brought something special. I'll tell you about it in a bit. Vaya blushed. Okay. She smiled at him, the biggest smile ever. Heidi went over to Poe and gave him a hug and said thanks so much for inviting us. We're all really excited about this. Poe handed Heidi one of the backpacks, and then he passed the rest out to everyone else. Everyone put the sack backpacks on their backs and got ready to start the hike. It was going to take them a couple of hours to get up to the top, and then a couple of hours to get down to the bottom. So Po had also put water bottles and protein bars and different things in the backpack, so if people got hungry or thirsty, they were covered. It was all part of the group that he belonged to. He looked very organized about the whole thing, and it suited him, and Heidi noticed. She looked at Po as if he was very charming, very caring. She knew he was already passionate and quite sensitive and deep because he was such a good poet. But this side of him was very, very cute, and she liked it a lot. The fact that he was into saving the world and being part of something good made him seem even more attractive in some way. They started to hike up the mountainside, up the hillside. The sun was out. It was quite warm, but it wasn't too warm. It was actually perfect weather for a good hike. If it would have been any hotter, it would have probably not been as enjoyable. But there was a nice breeze as well, so the breeze kept them nice and cool. Everyone made sure that they got sun cream on, something they don't really think about when they're dogs and cats. And everyone was ready. They were all happy about what they were doing. They were all laughing and joking about what they were doing. But eventually they all started to kind of pair off into different groups. Vaya and D'Angelo paired off and started to walk in one direction. Tucker and Cherry started to walk in another direction. Po and Heidi were quite slow. They were so busy catching up on all the things that Po had been doing in the theatre, all the poetry and the books that Heidi had been writing and reading. They were just enthralled in catching up on all of the things that they have in common. Po was telling Heidi that he had decided he was going to be a humanitarian when he grew up. He was going to travel around the world, and he was going to help in different poor villages in different countries to establish water supplies, to make water wells, and just be a part of that group. And Heidi thought that was very, very inspiring, and she would like to do that also when she grew up. She had a vision of them both traveling around the world together, helping in poor different countries and different villages and different places that needed food and water and just general basic needs for humans. Soaps, clothing, shelter, all the things that all human beings should have anyway. But unfortunately, the world doesn't work like that. And Heidi was very excited about being a part of something with Po that would be of service to the world. So they were chatting very intently about that and weren't getting far up the hillside at all. The opposite to that was Leo. Leo was on a mission. Leo was walking faster, hiking faster, climbing faster than anyone else, and he was actually enjoying the solo trip. Leo was quite introvert anyway, as we all know, so he liked being alone. At first, like I said, he was a little bit sad that he wasn't going to be seeing Sasha, but Leo also liked being on his own. He liked being just with Leo. He enjoyed his own company. And that's something not everyone does enjoy. But Leo did. He loved it. He liked being alone. He was enjoying the day, enjoying the sky, enjoying the hike, enjoying the sensation of being slightly out of breath, feeling like his body was moving and he was exerting energy. It was just good. It was all around good. And he would stop now and again and sprinkle some flower seeds. At one point, he turned around and threw a handful of them in all different directions, like he was a seed sprinkler. He was really enjoying himself. He had 3 pine trees to plant, so he was taking his time with them. He was thinking through it quite methodically. Where shall I put them? Where will the sun be on them the best? Where would they get the rain from the top of the hill coming down? He was thinking very, very intently about the whole thing. Cherry and Tucker, on the other hand, had completely different plans. Cherry had brought a time capsule with her. When she opened it and showed Tucker, Tucker was very impressed. "Oh, wow, that's really cool," he said to Cherry. Cherry was like, "Yeah, I know. Look, and if somebody digs it up in 2,000 years, they'll find a picture of me and you. Look at it. It's so cool." Cherry had brought a picture of one of the times when they'd been humans, when they were all messing around in a photo booth together. One of the pictures was Cherry and Tucker together alone, both of them pulling tongues out at the camera, pulling funny faces at each other, and having a lot of fun. That was one of Cherry's favourite pictures, so she put that in there. She'd also put 2 BFF rings in there. "This is me and you," she said. "Best friends forever." Tucker grinned at her. He thought to himself, are we really best friends? Is that all we are? But Tucker didn't say anything. And Cherry was hoping that Tucker was going to say, "Boyfriend and girlfriend, you mean?" But he didn't, so she didn't say anything. Tucker peered inside the time capsule and he saw a little hard drive in there. He asked Cherry, picking it up, "What's this?" Cherry said, "OMG, that's from when we were singing that time and I was recording it. Do you remember? Tucker said, "Oh, no, you didn't." Cherry said, "Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, if somebody finds that and they listen to us singing, they're going to think it's so funny." And I was like, you can't pass that up. I mean, like, if aliens find this box, or like if people in 2,000 years find this box and they're like, "Who were these humans back then?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, that was me and Tucker. Yeah, that was us. Yep, that's us." Tucker said, "Remind me again what we were singing." Cherry said, "Oh, I'm too sexy for my shirt." Tucker started singing with her. "Too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. So sexy it hurts. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm too sexy for my shoes." Whatever she was singing. Tucker was laughing his head off. "I remember that," he said. Anyway, they dug a big hole and put the time capsule in it and stomped the ground so it looked like no one had done anything. Who would find it? What would find it? They had absolutely no clue, but it was very exciting. And then they got back onto the mission of planting trees and seeds, which is why they were supposed to be there in the first place. On the other side of the hill, Vaya was laughing. D'Angelo had brought peach stones. "Why did you bring those?" she said. "Well," he said, "I was thinking, you know how we like peaches?" She nodded. They did. They both liked peaches. They had that in common. Lots of times, D'Angelo would bring Vaya a peach. So, they liked peaches. "Well, I was thinking, if we planted these stones, maybe these stones would grow into a tree. And then eventually, in so many years, that tree would be a peach tree. And that would be our special peach tree. And you never know, one day in the future, if things go our way, kind of." He was blushing at this point. And then he got super nervous. And then he didn't know how to say what he was going to say next. And Vaya blushed, and Vaya said, "What?" And he said, "Well, I thought maybe we could get married under this tree one day." Vaya stopped breathing. "Oh," she said out loud. "Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, D'Angelo, you're such a sweet person." Vaya hugged him. D'Angelo hugged her back. "Well, that's probably going to take about 10 years for it to grow, but still," Vaya said. "Still." They smiled at each other. They were having the bestest day, being kind, caring, compassionate human beings planting trees on the side of the hills. When they got to the top of the hill, Leo had been there ages. He was sat there eating his protein bar, having a drink of water, looking at the view. It was a really nice view. You could see the whole city down below. I like it up here, he said. It's really nice. It was quiet until you guys got here. All of the rest of them kind of arrived at the same time within a couple of minutes of each other. They all sat there for a while, took in the view. They had a drink and something to eat and chatted about all sorts of stuff in a group together. But then eventually it was time for them to come back down the hill and back down to their regular lives. When they all got home, they were all back into being dogs and cats once again. Heidi, Cherry and Vaya brushed their teeth, put their pajamas on, and fell into their big, soft, comfortable beds. Vaya still smiling. She didn't say anything to her sisters, but it was the best day ever for her. Cherry, still chuckling to herself about her time machine box, and she didn't say anything to anyone either. And Heidi was laid there with her eyes open, staring at the ceiling, wondering how she could possibly be a human forever, so that she could be a humanitarian and travel the world with Poe. Eventually, they all fell fast asleep. The end.